Hey guys, in today's video, Big Daddy Banggood has sponsored us with something potentially ridiculous. And right, like I said in the beginning of the video, this video is sponsored by Banggoods. I'm pretty sure most of my regular viewers have seen me talk about this a lot already, but here we go again. Banggoods is like a store like Amazon or Lazada, and they sell stuff. Their website sells generally a lot of things, and what I know that they are probably most known for is that they sell a lot of cheap electronic stuff, and they also sell a lot of things for gaming like keyboards. They sell the tablets and a lot of custom keycaps and all that for custom keyboards. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check Banggoods out because they're one of the few places where you actually get those kind of things. And I might make a video on that soon. Just let me know in the comments whether you want to see that or you want to see me review something like this again. I'll probably review a cheap phone because I'm really curious about how the cheapest phone or tablet would play games at all. Let's begin the video. This is the TICWRIS. It is a smartwatch, and it is probably the biggest smartwatch I have ever seen. It is twice the size of an Apple Watch, and I used to be an Apple Watch owner. Well, I sold that thing after a few months because it felt useless having something so expensive on my wrist, and all I did was like look at the time and maybe my notifications, which is honestly not much. It's not worth spending so much money on Apple Watch for that. But this watch here, I did some testing on it before I am recording right now, so I have some experience with this watch, and I actually kind of want to use it daily. The only thing stopping me is that this thing looks ridiculous. I mean, it kind of makes me feel like I'm really futuristic. Like this is some sci-fi kind of stuff like Omnitrix or something. Alright, so I should probably just look at the watch first. So you have the watch face, clearly, and then we have two buttons, and then we have the back. It uses a charger, it just snaps right on, and then we have a SIM card slot. And that's it for the entire watch construction. You can't take the bands off, you can't change them. I see videos of people dismantling it. I might do that, I might not do that, I don't know. So how this thing works is, this is the back button. So let's say I open my messages. I don't have any messages. Yep. This is the back button, it will move back. The second button is the home button. So if you press it, you go right back to the home page. And if you press it again, the home page, you'll turn it off. The device only wakes up when you press this button, or when you do the whole like flick your wrist thing. This thing actually has a lot of battery. Like the battery life of this thing is apparently bigger than the Google Pixel 4. And this thing, well, there's 3 brightness levels. You can fine tune the brightness level in the settings, but I'll just leave it at this. This is for cleaning apps to make the watch run faster, I guess. And then this is the only place where you can change the volume. There's no physical buttons for changing the volume of this. The thing that makes this watch so interesting is that it has the Play Store. Yep, you can download things on here. But I noticed that when I tried to download games, well, the games that I wanted at least, like let's say I want to download Arcaea, it just doesn't exist. Only a few games are there, but the ones I wanted wasn't. So how I worked around it was that I had to download a third-party app to download the APKs for the things I wanted. Alright, so let's just begin what we are here for. So the first game we'll test it out on is Opsu. Except that I'm not going to use Opsu Laser in this. I'm really lazy to find the APK to download it because using the browser on this is kinda... I mean, it's usable, but I found a great difficulty trying to scroll down on the Opsu website to download bitmaps even. Then I had to download another app to download the maps because I just couldn't scroll on the Opsu website because of how the Opsu website works. So the first things first we're gonna do is try Opsu Droid and Opsu, so let's get right to it. Okay, next time. Okay, so I just wanted to say that this thing surprisingly is working pretty well. Like, it feels like I'm playing the game on a mid-range or a cheaper end phone, and that's an impressive performance, especially coming from a watch that's about 200 Singapore dollars, I think, and that's pretty cheap. And also, this watch can basically be a phone since it can make calls, it can send messages, it can take pictures, it can use Twitter, it can use YouTube, it can browse the internet. It is basically a phone on your wrist. You can even play like games. You can play PUBG Mobile on this thing, and from the looks of it, the input delay is not that bad at all. I might be wrong. It feels like the input delay is probably around 20 ms, give and take there. Like, it responds only like about 20 ms after I press. But also droid wise, it's really hard to play anything harder than a hard difficulty on this. Because like, if you want to do streams, you gotta use two fingers, and it basically will cover the entire screen if you try doing that. Half the time just using your finger already blocks a lot of things. Alright, for viewing's sake, I'm going to try to play the game like on my wrist. It's actually quite interesting. I can see myself like randomly like clicking some circles in my free time on my wrist. Like easy difficulties and stuff. It is extremely playable, and this, not gonna lie, it runs much better than a lot of like the terrible PCs I've ever tried for opsu. I mean, that would be an opsu client, but this is opsu dry. It's two different things. And I mean, look at how it's running right now. Right now, my average offset is about 40 ms, and the frames per second is 60. It's working pretty freaking well. Let's try opsu next. And I have like less faith in opsu. It's taking a while to load. I noticed that opsu starts out a lot slower than opsu droid. The front screen is also extremely laggy. You can see the frames dropping, but it starts to stabilize after a while when it started up. Oh, this only has insane. Okay, opsu is much harder. This is very small. I would very much prefer using playing opsu droid than opsu on this thing. Of course, I know in opsu you can change the circle sizes. But generally, I feel like opsu droid runs better. But by looking at the frame rate right now, they both are running about the same actually. So at that point, whether you use opsu or opsu droid is preference. Also, the speaker is here. So just now you guys probably couldn't hear the sound so much because I was lifting my hand up, so it blocked the speaker. That's interesting. Alright, let's play my next favorite game, Arcaea. No, I'm not playing AndroZip, no. Yes, Arcaea runs on this thing. Let's test the offset and find out whether this is any good or not. I think I tested offset, and offset results came back surprisingly good for this tiny thing. When I received this thing, I completely expected it to run like crap. Like actually terrible. But this thing it's so playable that it's really as good as having a tiny ass phone on your wrist. I mean, the inputs are not perfect, and because of the small screen there are problems, but we'll go into that. One really obvious thing that's a problem is that it's very difficult to tap anything or read things when stuff gets really small. Like reading adjust the synchronization is like basically impossible to read unless you put your face all the way up into the watch. And trying to click tap setup, or like sometimes when I'm trying to change my offset manually, I actually click I actually click things basically. So let's set offset. Oh, whoops. So this is me trying to tap at the time when the screen activates. I don't think this is correct. The offset is closer to 20. Not 200. What? No. This is actually painful. Jesus. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the offset at 30 because it is too hard to use. Okay, I haven't loaded my data because I was really lazy, so let's just play easy stuff. I'm not gonna lie, for Arcs, this is pretty good, considering how the screen is so small, like it's not hard to do cross hands at all. You can see that it's dropping inputs because it's not because the screen is not sensing it, but it's because the screen is just way too small. Like when you have to press a node that's next to the lane you're already touching, it's very easy to drop the inputs then. This is honestly probably of the level of a cheap smartphone, but the thing is that I have not tested a cheap smartphone's performance yet. But honestly, the fact that this thing can run anything at all is impressive to me. So far, the most playable thing to me feels like opsu droid. You can see that I have to hit early to get the nodes to register. I wouldn't say it's impossible to get good at a game using this, but I can say that it would take a lot of effort because it's very easy to miss things. I think this is even worse score than before. I mean, I'm kind of sitting, like, my camera is just right in front of me, so it's harder to play. Like my actual score, when I tried this like properly, sitting down, is like 9-2 something, which is not too terrible, but it's not great either, especially since this is a 7. Alright, now, so let's play the Lanota. I know I really need to make a Lanota video. I've been pestering myself to make it, but it just never happened. But we'll play a bit of Lanota today because to me, Lanota is a game that you need a decently sized phone to play. And this is the complete opposite of that. And I really want to try playing Tasana on this and see how tiny the tuner will get, basically. Alright, let's go. Alright, the input delay would be even more obvious on Lanota because you can see that I clearly have to tap earlier for it to register. And I still haven't bought the game yet. I gotta wait for 1 minute. I'm planning to buy the game for Android soon, just not yet. Not for this smartwatch at least. I already have the games bought on my iOS devices. I'm just going to zoom out just to let you guys know exactly how small everything is. At this kind of size, it's really difficult to see whether a blue node is a flick node or if it's one of those catch nodes. I don't even need to move my thumb. I can just hit the same spot. This is very small. It is very, very small. I mean, honestly, for a smartwatch, this thing is huge. It's huge. But I can't see myself playing like with one finger, one hand kind of thing. I don't know how I'm gonna do the you are invisible thing because the wrist straps are in the way. Like, how am I going to do this? And we also have Cytus 1. I didn't get Cytus 2, free version. I need to get these games on Androids too. This wristwatch aspect ratio is actually basically an iPad aspect ratio. It's not 16:9. And yes, you can watch YouTube videos on this. The most laggy thing I've seen run on this so far that I've tested yet is actually scrolling through Twitter. And I also got a lot of notifications on this thing because of Twitter, so I just uninstalled Twitter. Let's play my favorite song. When things get too close to each other, it starts to get really hard to hit things correctly. It missed all of that. Okay. I guess so happened both my thumbs wasn't touching the sensor for that one line of stuff, I guess. Awful score, Jesus Christ. Nice try. Alright, and that's it for this TICWRIS on rhythm games. And honestly, for just a tiny screen, it's actually really sharp. But I guess I don't think it's 1080p. I don't think it's a 1080p screen, but it's very sharp considering that it packs so many pixels in like a small space. It gives the illusion that it is very sharp. I like the colors on display a lot. It looks really good. I think my camera does justice of how this thing looks. It really is what you see. Okay, my camera died. As you can see, it's really big for a smartwatch, and it's quite heavy, and it definitely will get in the way of things unless you move it real back. But all things considered, this is something I feel like I want to use because it's just so much more fun and interesting than like having something like an Apple Watch. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys next time.